Erma Bombeck quotes. When I stand before God at the end of my life, I would hope that I would not have a single bit of talent left, and could say, I used everything you gave me. Seize the moment. Remember all those women on the Titanic who waved off the dessert cart. When your mother asks, do you want a piece of advice, it's a mere formality. It doesn't matter if you answer yes or no. You're going to get it anyway. There is a thin line that separates laughter and pain, comedy and tragedy, humor and hurt. It takes a lot of courage to show your dreams to someone else. I am not a glutton, I am an explorer of food. Worry is like a rocking chair, it gives you something to do but never gets you anywhere. There's nothing sadder in this world than to awake Christmas morning and not be a child. Don't worry about who doesn't like you, who has more, or who's doing what. The odds of going to the store for a loaf of bread and coming out with only a loaf of bread are 3 billion to 1. Housework can kill you if done right. Did you ever notice that the first piece of luggage on the carousel never belongs to anyone? When a child is locked in the bathroom with water running and he says he's doing nothing but the dog is barking, call 911. All of us have moments in our lives that test our courage. Taking children into a house with a white carpet is one of them. No one ever died from sleeping in an unmade bed. I have known mothers who remake the bed after their children do it because there is wrinkle in the spread or the blanket is on crooked. This is sick. Dreams have only one owner at a time. That's why dreamers are lonely. Cleanliness is not next to godliness. It isn't even in the same neighborhood. No one has ever gotten a religious experience out of removing burned-on cheese from the grill of the toaster oven. Thanksgiving dinners take 18 hours to prepare. They are consumed in 12 minutes. Half-times take 12 minutes. This is not coincidence. Sometimes I can't figure designers out. It's as if they flunked human anatomy. You have to love a nation that celebrates its independence every July 4th, not with a parade of guns, tanks, and soldiers who file by the White House in a show of strength and muscle, but with family picnics where kids throw frisbees, the potato salad gets iffy, and the flies die from happiness. You may think you have overeaten, but it is patriotism. When humor goes, there goes civilization. If a man watches 3 football games in a row, he should be declared legally dead. Never lend your car to anyone to whom you have given birth. Everyone is guilty at one time or another of throwing out questions that beg to be ignored, but mothers seem to have a market on the supply. Do you want a spanking or do you want to go to bed? Don't you want to save some of the pizza for your brother? Wasn't there any change? Never go to a doctor whose office plants have died. A grandmother pretends she doesn't know who you are on Halloween. If you can't make it better, you can laugh at it. Written on her tombstone, I told you I was sick. My second favorite household chore is ironing. My first being hitting my head on the top bunk bed until I faint. Just think of all those women on the Titanic who said, no thank you to dessert that night. And for what? Humor is a spontaneous, wonderful bit of an outburst that just comes. It's unbridled, it's unplanned, it's full of surprises. I love my mother for all the times she said absolutely nothing. Thinking back on it all, it must have been the most difficult part of mothering she ever had to do, knowing the outcome, yet feeling she had no right to keep me from charting my own path. I thank her for all her virtues, but mostly for never once having said, I told you so. As a child, my number one best friend was the librarian in my grade school. I actually believed all those books belonged to her. Laughter rises out of tragedy when you need it the most, and rewards you for your courage. Have you any idea how many children it takes to turn off one light in the kitchen? 3. It takes 1 to say what light and 2 more to say I didn't turn it on. Laugh now, cry later. Housework is a treadmill from futility to oblivion with stop-offs at tedium and counterproductivity. In 2 decades I've lost a total of 789 pounds. I should be hanging from a charm bracelet. There's something wrong with a mother who washes out a measuring cup with soap and water after she's only measured water in it. When my kids become wild and unruly, I use a nice, safe playpen. When they're finished, I climb out. A child needs your love most when he deserves it least. I come from a home where gravy is a beverage. Thanks to my mother, not a single cardboard box has found its way back into society. We receive gifts in boxes from stores that went out of business 20 years ago. Insanity is hereditary. You can catch it from your kids. Marriage has no guarantees. If that's what you're looking for, go live with a car battery. I remember thinking how often we look, but never see, we listen, but never hear, we exist, but never feel. We take our relationships for granted. A house is only a place. It has no life of its own. It needs human voices, activity, and laughter to come alive.